TV. And the two men that I'm talking about that me and the Hacker, the brother of the Rhodes, shared the same load with this night was John Studd and Bruiser Brody, man. I'm going to tell you what, if you've never seen John Studd or Bruiser Brody together, you're going to get a good look at what it's all about when you're locked in the cage, brother, with a couple of mean, bad gorillas. But somehow, somewhere, someplace, when you least expect it, John Studd, Bruiser Brody, me and the Hacker prevail. Let's take a look at that right now.
All right, let's go to the armory now and take a look at, here you see them all four in the ring. Bruiser Brody, Big John Studd, Hacksaw Butch Reed, and of course, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and Brody just catch quite a solid right, and now a series of lefts by you in the near corner.
You watch this shot coming up right here now, Gunso. You're going to see right here, Big John Studd got the double whammy from Dusty Rhodes and Hacksaw Butch Reed right there. He went down to his feet. The people are ecstatic. This is a sellout crowd packed in Tampa, and we're going for it right here. This is what it's all about. Look at this, jabbing, punching, knocking people around, getting right after. Look at John Studd now, man. The biggest, most powerful man Gunso I've ever seen in my life. It's almost like Terry Funk challenging me to that who's the master of the bunkhouse match. Sooner or later, it's going to come down to that.
And it's Brody now catching it again, but Big John Studd closes in, and Studd, a massive, powerful individual, and Dusty, you're having some strife here, and Brody is quick to take advantage of it.
Trouble and strife is what it is right here. Man, look at them, both of them here. They gonna bodily try to throw me out of the ring. Here I am, Danny, 235 pounds, trying to throw me bodily over this cage here. Got my legs high up over my head. Look at him right here, but here comes Hacksaw Reed, my main man. The Hacker gonna get up and come over and stop this before they throw me to the concrete floor. Right there's a big hammer on Studd's back. As you see in this thing, you know this Big John Studd always keeps his balance, you understand? Always keeps his balance. Right here, this thing is turned into a bit of just really get down. I mean, that's all. You can't go nowhere, Doc. There's nowhere to go. There's steel cage around the ring. There is a lock outside there. And at this instant, held by God Nelson, great wrestler in his own right, great man in his own right. You see Bruiser Brody heavily lacerated.
He is indeed, as Hacksaw Butch Reed, living up to his name, hacking away at Brody, has him down to the canvas. Studd having his problems, off his feet again, and that's a rare instance indeed when you ever see Big John Studd off his feet.
Well, when he with Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, he's going to be off his feet and on his back somewhere down the line, Jack. He's going around claiming that I cannot pin him any place, any time. There's going to be a time we get down. You see, I'm heavily lacerated too. This thing's turned into a real wild melee. I want you to watch very close coming up here towards the end of this thing. So what happened? You see that? Who did that? Was Hacksaw Reed had this man up in the air, talking about $5,000 a slam, had him up in the air, and they're claiming that Bruiser Brody over there helping him and all this stuff. But look at him right here. They both laid out. You're going to see him start getting a real good old-fashioned whipping right here. And you're going to see the consequences of J.J. Dillon, where he couldn't just stand it no longer, going to be coming around here trying to interfere in this thing.
J.J. Dillon, obviously, at the right-hand corner of your screen, had just hit the gate attendant with a chair and grabbed the keys, as now is locking the door behind him, coming into the steel cage himself. And Dusty, of course, this changes it now to a 3 against 2 situation.
Sure it is. That's the whole thing. And he also has the foreign object in hand. You see him and Hacksaw got the thing under full control. Both men are about out on their feet. They're both down. We got this thing under full control. Right here, you see, take out the foreign object coming over, hitting the magazine. Dusty Rhodes on the back right there, knocking it down to the floor. Now he's going over Hacksaw Reed. Hack going to fall down just for a second. And look at this, man. I mean, this guy got a foreign object down in the gate's lock. There's no way you can get in there. There's pandemonium in the arena. There's excitement in the arena. There's more going on there than goes on anywhere in the world, man. Look at these two men now. They both ganging up on me. Bruiser Brody's coming around now, getting ready to get his cheap shot. That's good. Get your cheap shots to American Dream now, 3-on-1, or Hacksaw Butch Reed 3-on-1, because sooner or later we're going to get them both singly in the cage somewhere by themselves. Hacksaw with one, me with one, and an attendant outside that's holding them together. Wherever that cage match is going to be, it's going to be the greatest event ever held in the state of Florida. I guarantee you that, God and solely, because it's sure I'm sitting here. Now you see some interesting going. I'm hating to interrupt you here, but you're going to see coming from the back, you're going to see some of the friends, Dusty Rhodes and Hacksaw and friends coming in trying. They beating them off here. Look at them. They're climbing in on all sides because this has got out of hand. There has to be somebody at that door to keep somebody like J.J. Dillon, the master of disaster, from coming in and hitting people and booting them and locking people out. Right here you see Brian Blair's down there. They're all down there trying to to climb in the cage. The cage is very hard to get into, much less out of. And you see that the boys are trying hard. The boys are trying hard because we are laying there with a serious amount of pain on our body, God and soul. There is pain written on my face and in Hacksaw Reed's face. And you see they're still pounding on us here. People trying to get in 302, plus a foreign object on J.J. Dillon, the master of disaster again, hands. And you see people trying to come in. But I want you to watch the lower part of your screen over here, the entrance to the door. Brian Blair has enough brains where he says, God Nelson, do you have another key? Is there some way that I can get in and relieve this pain, strife, grief, and agony from these two men right here, God? And it has gotten out of hand. People are standing all over the arena, as you know yourself, and right here, he opens the door, and he makes his move in. You see him come in right here, looking for somebody to hit, walking around there. Look at him now. Tommy Wright's in there. They're all in there, man. Look at the boys coming in here. Look at the power of John Studd. Look at the power.
It's an awesome display of power by both Studd and Brody, but now the odds are being evened, and obviously...
Look at this, got nothing wrong, but look here, the big power slam. Fire down there. Look how he got him a hacksaw gorilla slam.
He's higher than the cage.
Look at him running around trying to hit him, man, but finally, there he is, Dream with a bionic elbow. He's down the Cosmic Cowboy himself. God Nelson crawls in, 1, 2, 3, justice served once again. But the most violent match in the world you just witnessed, and it's going to go on till we get them both head up one-on-one.
Well, that, of course, is the thing that obviously I think is going to be the only way to settle this, is to have both Dusty Rhodes and Hacksaw Butch Reed in separate cages and let him settle the score with these gentlemen. But, well, thankfully, we do have men like Brian Blair and others who saw that justice could be served, and, well, Mr. Dillon paid his price.
He paid his price. Just before we leave here, this scene, I just want to make one word to Terry Funk, brother. Remember the words, an eye for an eye. An eye for an eye, brother.